Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of How to Play Star Wars Galaxies. In today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to look through actually the Bazaar terminal. If you don't remember how to get here, you might want to check out the bank terminal tutorial we did. Basically, it's this area that on the map, it looks kind of like this little square, and you'll see all these little terminals, locate icons on there. Look for this. You won't see it here in a second, but sometimes there's a big tent. Basically, look for this big, like, four entrance, area where there's a lot of turns and corners. You'll see the bank and the Bazaar terminals and all that. This is where you'll always find one, but some cities do have Bazaar terminal just kind of randomly placed somewhere in the city. So keep your eyes open. They're bright red, as you can see, so they're kind of hard to completely miss. But that's where they are. So now, what you want to do is you just want to click on it, and you'll see a lot of options. Now, the Bazaar terminal is pretty much your marketplace for non-vendor items. If you're not a trader, you can sell here. If you don't want to go looking at actual individual homes for items, you can buy things here. The only catch is there's a limit on stuff and on what you can sell and buy, and so therefore you can't just buy anything that you're looking for. It's kind of tricky. There's different categories. You have all auctions, and auctions doesn't necessarily mean auctions that will end at a certain point. It just means all auctions that are built into the Bazaar terminal. It probably needs to be reworded. My bids is actually for items that if someone does do an auction style sell, your bids will go in here. My sales, if you do sell anything, which we can go over that, pretty not too hard to do. You'll have a listing in here. You can only do up to 25 items at a time, so that's the one trick. Available items will be if you purchased an item from another Bazaar terminal. Like I could purchase an item through this terminal from another planet, and you have to pick up items that are from that Bazaar terminal from the planet and city that they are located at. Kind of annoying, but if you purchase on there, you go pick it up. Then there's vendor location. Vendor location looks almost identical to the auction location, all auctions, but the difference is vendor location is it only shows you items that are being sold through a character's vendor that is located in their home. So if you're looking for anything of the high-end caliber, like high-end weapons, high-end armor, even just actually a full set of armor, good houses, good harvesters, good clothing, anything like that, you're going to want to look in vendor location. For me, being a little bit higher end player, having plenty of cash available, I almost always look on the vendor location unless I am looking for some scrap kind of throwaway item. I'll look in the all auctions, but typically, or even I'm looking for an item just to give to a low level friend, I'll go to the auctions. When you're looking though, you can do all, which kind of helpful if you know exactly what you're searching for. You can go all, and you can type down here in the name filter and actually type in the exact name of what you're looking for. So you see here, like this says equipment factory. So let's type in equipment factory, and it shows you all the equipment factory deeds that are in this region, and that means this city. So if I want to expand that location and go to this planet, it doesn't really increase much. There's nothing else that's in there, but it is covering a wider area. And then if you want to look at all of the Bazaar terminals in the entire galaxy, again, see this item, there's only one of them out there. So let's pick something a little less. Okay, let's do this power crystal. And we're let's do enter again. So you see a lot of power crystals. You can see over here that they are on Naboo. You can see how much they are. You see how much time is left on them. They're instant. The thing with the sales instant auction is most people just do not deal with the auctions. It's kind of pointless. Most people want their items right then, right there, instantly. So just do an instant. Know how much you want to sell the item for and be done with it. If you right click on an item and go to details, you can see the item itself, what it looks like. You can actually see who's selling the item, so maybe you want to send them an email in the game and tell them, or tell and say, I want to buy this item cheaper from you, or something of that nature. Or do you have more of these if you're looking for a bunch of something? And again, here you can also look at all the stats of the item. So do that. Now let's say let's go to this planet. You see an additional item showed up, and if we go to entire galaxy, we have a lot of them. So that's kind of how that functions. Now let's go to vendor location, because the main bad thing about all auctions is there is a limit to the amount of that an item can be sold at. It's still pretty high, but there's also that limit of you can only sell up to 25 items in your sales. So it gets kind of frustrating when you really need a lot of things, or you're looking for something really good. If a person is a good trader, they're making good items, they need that big stock inventory that they can put out there. So you want to go to the vendor search. So then from here, if you want to look for something more specific, like if you wanted to actually look at clothing, and then you wanted to expand it to belts, and then you wanted to see all of the cartridge belts, this actually shows you all of the cartridge belts that are available in the entire galaxy. Now, the benefit to doing a search from the object type filter versus actually typing in a name is the name only searches for what the item is actually named. The reason this is bad is because when you make things in crafting, you can actually rename an object. So just because an object may be a cartridge belt doesn't mean someone named it a cartridge belt. Maybe someone decided to be kind of cool and they named their cartridge belt a Sith belt or Han's belt, or who knows, whatever the heck they decide to name it. They may have given an odd name. For example, a cartridge belt right here, this may not have been named, but it says Frayed Apprentice Pikeman's Belt. It's still technically a cartridge belt, but it has a different naming. So when you do your actual types filters over here, it kind of helps you actually see everything of that type, because it still has a code within the game telling it what kind of item it is. So you can go through all those, and it's also nice too when you're looking for things like clothing. If you're not sure what all of the types of a certain kind of clothing are, you can go through here and really see what's available. So then when you are looking to purchase a specific item from a specific player, you can tell them, I want this item in this color. Also, a little tip, if you're looking for something a little more like armor, it gets kind of tricky because armor has multiple parts to it, but a lot of times you want an entire set. So to get an entire set, the best tactic to do is go to miscellaneous, go down to your wearable containers, then just click on that, and then you might want to type in the search name something like battle armor, which actually gives you then a full set of Marauder battle armor. It's got a color kit included, 6,000 all sets. It can be a little tricky sometimes if you're buying a single item, but when you see someone here who has obviously multiple kits of the same type for sale, and especially with a color like that, they're in it for the money. They're not going to try and really just screw you. So then look for the money, find the best price. You can click on here to filter it, see which to go in order of lowest, cheapest to most expensive, because you may not want to spend that much. So that's basically it. From there, you have your minimum price filter, your maximum. So let's say we don't want to spend 1 million credits. You don't want to spend any more than 600,000, and there you go. So it's a good filter way of knowing how to go through and just really separate things out. You can't actually buy from the vendor location though, is the only trick. You can buy from the all auctions location, from the Bazaar terminals, but when you go in here, the only way to get these is to click on the item, right click on it, go to waypoint to vendor, then go into your data pad, and you'll see, if we can find it, there we go. You'll see the item that showed up in your inventory, in your data pad, that shows you exactly what you are looking for. Then you actually have to go to this planet, which is Locke, go to the waypoint, go to the vendor, and actually purchase the item from the vendor. That's where it gets a bit frustrating, but if you're needing those specific items, this is the only way to get those. So I hope this helped. It's just a brief explanation of how the Bazaar terminal works. Be a little creative when you're doing your searches. Don't get Don't get frustrated too quickly because yeah, it can get very irritating when you're looking for things. And just be aware of what things are called. Be aware of actually where things are located in the system. Always use your filter first. Hope you enjoyed this, and until next tutorial, see you later.